lot going on. We're back live. We're back live. But almost, okay, there we go. All right, looks like we're back. Let me see if I can get the flow back going here. All right, so there's the event page for Creative Control Fest. Here is the website for Creative Control Fest. And then we have the actual Facebook page for Creative Control Fest as well. All right, Brent, thank you for joining us again. All right, guys, sorry about that. What's up, John? Sorry, we're just having a little technical difficulties right there. Lisa's back. All right, so I just got you all the information for our show sponsor, the Creative Control Fest. They provided me this awesome hat. In the previous video, Corey hit you with the website. Just what it was Roger, a fan, and even better student. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much, Caleb. One of my students, who's also a fan of the comics I do, just messaged me on Instagram because I'm doing it live here. He said, just a word of inspiration from a fan and even better, a student. Keep up the great work. Those kids are awesome, man. Those kids are pretty dang awesome. All right, so there's our sponsors for this show in particular. You got all the information. The show is next weekend, and all week they'll be doing stuff. So go check them out, get the info, find out about them. I'll be there next week, and they have an amazing alignment of guest speakers coming down there to talk, to educate, to inspire, and set your soul on fire. So come down there and let's get creative, man. Let's get freaking creative. Now, let's get into the meat and potatoes of the show. What's been going on with Short Fuse and Freestyle Komics? A lot. All right, so first off, Short Fuse, and I'm going to save some of this stuff for, oh, shoot, it's not going to work. What I wanted to do. Terrible. All right, so some of the stuff I'm going to say for a new show we're also starting on the Short Fuse page called Short Fuse Talking Comics. And let me see. I don't think it'll let me put it up here. No, it won't. So that won't work. So I'll figure it out later. I'll put them in the actual Dear Creative event page so you guys can have reason to go to that. But we just unleashed cameo covers, and there was a set done for Freestyle Komics, and there was a set done for Red Band. I was going to show you guys the Freestyle Comics set. I will actually post that up in the FSK page and try to get a link going here real quick so we can get on there. But so these cameo covers are really awesome because it features whatever character from a book that you want, aka let's say Vigilance, Hotshot, Heroes International, Emerald Quest, Cypher, any one of those books. You order one of those books and you're like, well, I want to do a cameo cover. I want myself as a superhero or a supervillain or just somebody on the cover. So you get a one-of-a-kind, full-produced comic book cover. And we got some great examples of those. I'm going to get those uploaded here and try to get a link in there for you ASAP. I thought I could just drop pictures in here, but now I know I can't, so that is duly noted for the next episode. But these things were massively fun, and on the Vigilance Kickstarter is when we premiered doing this, and Mike Lancet came over and helped us out with getting 2 of the covers done. I did one of the covers, and they were just freaking awesome. Like, the people that got them got the characters on them. They were very happy with them. They took pictures, posted them online. Cameo covers. And we're going, no. We're going to get that published there. We have one where there's like a Chewbacca, He-Man mixed character, another one with the chef, and one of them with Alyssa, one of our new characters that's coming to Freestyle Komics. So please keep an eye out for her. I'm getting that link. Okay, looks like internet and everything's working great now. All right, so here's the link to that, so you guys can check out those covers. Did not take. What's up, David? What's up, Anthony? What's up, Jeremy? Sean Max back, Malik, Devin, Ron's back. All right, cool. So those are, I just put them in there. Those are the cameo covers. Mike Lancet killed his covers. I enjoyed doing mine. I did the one with the chef. We had Mike Color, Mike actually colored mine, so that was pretty cool. And Veronica colored the other two. Veronica Smith, our lead production editor at Freestyle Komics. Fantastic job. I absolutely love doing these. This is something that we carried over into the like father like daughter trade paperback Kickstarter, and we got a few more of those. So it's going to be a regular occurrence that's happening with Short Fuse and their Kickstarter. So if you want to partake in that, keep your eyes open. When we do Short Fuse Talking Comics, I will show you the red band covers on there. I gotta save some stuff for that show too, as I'll be participating in it as well. What's up, Simon? Yes, Alyssa. Alyssa is awesome Sanchez. She is a part of the creative team at Freestyle Komics. She's bringing the Alyssa character over there, and she is the first creative to be at Freestyle Komics and have something that I did not create. So that if that doesn't say anything that how awesome her character is, I don't know what else to tell you, because I created all the other books at FSK, and we've never had anybody else over there with their own character coming into the brand of FSK. So this is the first time for that, and I think it's awesome. Well, outside of the characters that Victor created with us at FSK. So outside of that, this is the first one. All right, so here we go. Next up, so cameo covers are a cool thing. So getting back to development, we've always been in development at FSK. You're right. What's up, Jay? What do you mean? What do you mean? Let's keep it up. We've always been in development with FSK, and I've had a lot of pitfalls. I've made a lot of mistakes, and I've done a lot of good things. But the last 3 years have been up and down, mainly up. But then we've had some downs. You know, it's not a perfect run, but we try to learn from it as much as we possibly can. So a lot of projects have been in, although there's a certain group of us that still work on them that are truly like super dedicated to it and want to get things done. It's my hair. I don't wear a lot of hats. I want to make sure it's on right. So we are working year round on stuff and getting done what we can. But there's other people that I have not greenlit anything for them to go because we have not secured the funds for those titles yet to get them going, because you know people are going to want to get paid, and we have to make sure we know where our money's coming from to be able to pay these people for these books. And you know there have been job ball issues in regards to that, and some of that has fallen on me just with either getting too excited or not properly planning all the way through, kind of like making plan A and B, but not seeing that I need a C and a D as well. And some of that also goes on, like me being super excited about who I'm rolling with, and you know, seeing how things are laying out. And you know, just because this was successful, I jump right into the next thing, thinking that it's automatically going to be successful, instead of like laying down that foundation or taking a second and stepping back and really looking at the bigger picture. So that's what we've been doing this year. Or this past year, is really looking at the picture, trying to make sure we know for sure where funds are coming from, and not greenlighting every single book at the same time, and moving a couple at a time, or moving certain people to get things started. So we actually started production on the Cypher 3, and that is a fun book. We got Zack Snyder over there doing pencils and inks, and we had Dorfeast do some writing for us, Jerry do some writing for us, and you know we're still actually looking for a couple more components, which would be colors. But I normally do the internship with CCAD, and so I'll have some either freshmen, sophomore, or juniors come intern with Freestyle Komics, and they'll normally take care of the coloring and lettering for us. Sometimes I'll even get them to draw the book if I have enough people on staff. So I'm holding off on that aspect until I can go down here and recruit for the internship, which won't be till November. And actually, I need to reach out to CCAD to actually get our table. So thanks for reminding me, everybody, on the social media. I appreciate that. So we dove into that. The next issue of Heroes International, it's already written. It's done. We're just tweaking like the last couple pages for that, and that was written by Ethan. Ethan has been with me for a while. We've worked on several projects together. I worked on Screen Boy with him, and he's done some earlier Emerald Quest stuff that we had a good time with. Peep Game Comics is in the building. What's up? What's up? So let's see here. And Hotshot. Danny and I had a very vigorous, or rather Danny had a very vigorous editorial session on issue 10 of Hotshot, and that was a lot of fun. watching that man work and getting the updates as he moves through it. Danny is very, very critical, and he will ask all the questions that need to be asked to make sure we are telling the best story possible, and a story that makes sense and flows with the rest of everything else that we're doing at FSK. He has a big job, and his job got bigger with him taking on the editor-in-chief role for Freestyle Komics. Where are we going to next? Getting back to teams. So this thing has been a back and forth thing of trying to figure out teams, because I've established that I have a team that I work with at Freestyle Komics, and so promotions have happened, and some people are going to be moving over to Short Fuse with me. Some people are going to be doing Short Fuse and FSK, and some people are taking bigger roles at Short Fuse. So something that I picked up from Sean Mack is, defining those roles. Normally, I just have a meeting with people like, hey, this is what I need you to do. Da 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 da. This is what we're looking for, and I kind of like just stay in contact with them. Or like, hey, this is coming up. Can we do this? Hey, this is coming up. Can we do that? But actually, I sit down and truly define the roles. And, we're bringing on, we're looking to bring on one more person. I just brought on somebody else last week. I'll probably announce that stuff next week once we have completely defined them, because I wrote them all down, like what I'm looking for, what we need. And I really had to look at, because now, I still own FSK. I'm still involved with FSK, but now being the publisher of Short Fuse, I'm looking at what things we did at Freestyle that we can bring over to Short Fuse and help increase what Short Fuse can do. Because let's take note, there's nothing wrong with Short Fuse. Short Fuse is performing excellent. My thing is, it's not broke, so I'm not trying to fix it. I'm just trying to add some extra to it to give it more fluff, more boost. So what elements that have we had success with at FSK that would work with Short Fuse overall? And that's that's some careful consideration, because at Short Fuse we're talking about 50 titles. FSK we're just talking about 5 to 7 books, and all our books are in one universe. And it's very superhero heavy oriented books over at FSK. You got over 50 different comic books at Short Fuse, so it's in consideration of all the titles. So what works, what's not going to work. And again, it's not broke, so you're not trying to repair anything. You're just trying to add some newness to it, some new things to get the gears going. Gotta go. Phone's about to die. I wish I could have stayed around. We'll keep up the good work again. No problem, Caleb. What's up, Spencer? Thanks for joining in, man. I appreciate you tuning in, Caleb, and the kind words. I really do appreciate it. Moving some things around. So, like, I got, obviously, Danny is the editor-in-chief over at FSK. We promoted Veronica to lead production editor. So Veronica is also the lead colorist for FSK. She colors about 4 different books for us, and she does it pretty well in different styles, and she still has that kind of editorial eye, and she's working on hitting up different comic book stores, trying to reach out to them and get in there. And so now that's something that Veronica's been doing, but now I have to keep that in line with Marvin Wynn over at Short Fuse. Marvin Wynn has been the guy for getting us into comic shops and handling negotiations and things like that. So when I'm defining the role for Veronica, I want Veronica to still reach out to these books, but now she has to do it in segue with Marvin. So if she gets somebody interested, Marvin needs to be involved and know that beforehand and be there so he can close the deal. Marvin has in case you wonder why was Marvin picked for that, because Marvin has had a ton of experience about getting indie books in shops, and not only getting them in shops, but getting them in shops so the indie creator can make an actual profit off of the book, to where the comic shop owner and the indie creative is happy with their book being in there. Because at the end of the day, it's dollars against cents. You want to make some money. You want your books in there. Don't get me wrong. And me and Sean have butted heads on this, but everybody that makes a comic book wants their book in the store. You want your book in a comic book store. I mean, you make them, you want to see them next to everybody else's book. You do. And but at a certain extent, you got to get past just wanting them in the store, and you got to figure out what's going to work financially as well. Because, it's not the comic shop owner's job to sell that book. It's your job to get people to that store to buy the book. So it's your audience that's going there. So there's a lot going in there, but there's a lot of back and forth and working. Then we got Jessica, who's on social media, and she is excellent at doing social media. I love the way that she attacks it. So we're looking to see if she can double over to Short Fuse and what she does at FSK. We're bringing on Jen, who is a wonderful person who always just happens to be at our local shows and helps out. And so defining what her role is going to be and how she's going to help and do more. She's very excited about that. Laura, our event coordinator for Freestyle Komics, she's getting more duties and moving on up. And so really examining what we need to be. The hat just looks crooked. Maybe because I'm not used to wearing that. I'm not. But our duties are definitely upgrading and changing to more as we need a lot, and we need to be on it and specifically for the events, the comic conventions, we have done Rogue Squad. What up? We need to link up and do some stuff. Rogue Squad podcast is in the building on my Instagram account. Those guys are crazy dope. But looking at the number of events and the number of shows that we've done this year, I normally have like a week, maybe 2 weeks between a show, or at least 2 weeks between a show last year. That has not been the denominator this year. I've done a ton of shows and a ton of events. So we've got to set up a schedule of one of the things that comic book conventions have enjoyed from me and Freestyle Komics, or Freestyle Komics and I, is that I promote hard for the show prior. And that is by changing my banner, changing my profile pic on all my pages, making flyers, making promo for it, doing videos, stuff that I don't get to do as much now because I'm taking on so much more. So now it's a matter of defining a timeline with that role that I'm defining. And then trying to split that up evenly with, a proper amount of workload for everybody, so everything's getting done. So that's kind of been a thing, and I've been tossing around ideas with Danny, hitting Sean up, and just going back and forth, trying to get the right format for it, so we can define these roles and bring on a couple of people that we want to bring on and make some announcements and then get this ball rolling. I'm trying to dive in. I'm ready to jump into this and get it popping. All right, so and then that also goes in line with the creative teams. One of the things that is difficult on the books at FSK is that we don't have the same artists and creative team on every single issue, and that's what we want to have. Actually, I don't think we have it on any of the books. Like Hotshot 1 through 0 through 9, I drew all of them. So that's the one most consistent thing. Probably the next most consistent thing is Danny Cooper and then Veronica and Gary being on the book. So for pretty much we're a solid team on there for the most part. Heroes International, first 2 issues was one team. Third issue is a completely different team. Fourth issue is going to be a completely different team. The fourth issue team, though, is a team that I want to keep on and not switch out. Emerald Quest, we had a big wazoo with that. Just, scheduling, budgets, just timing, and not working for people. And, had to put a couple artists on issue 2, but we have the artist now, and we're keeping him on the book, and he's already working on the 3rd issue already. So keeping that team. Cypher is the one book I don't mind switching up, just because for the most part, generally speaking, interns work on that book. So the art's always going to be different. And there are many stories that we put in there, about 2 to 3 per issue. So I don't mind that so much. Vigilance, I've got the creative team with that one on the 3rd issue. Every issue has been a different creative team. But the 3rd issue, for the most part, that team I want to keep. So just trying to keep it consistent. Now, we've put out very, very high quality books. Every single issue. We make sure we do that. But it also is cool to watch your book grow with a certain team. It's like once you get onto a basketball, football team and you get comfortable with other players, you can start doing all types of stuff. You can start doing no-look passes, one-hand grabs, all types of crazy stuff because you built up a working relationship with each other and you know what the other person does. Like me, Gary, Veronica, and I, when I'm drawing stuff, Gary's so used to inking my work, Gary picks up on my tendencies, and Gary is so comfortable inking my work, he knows where he can add himself in, and it just adds to the pencils more, which is why I love it. And Veronica just steps up and she can color anything that we need. So she's gotten so comfortable with coloring over my pencil, she can do it blindfolded. And that's the kind of work I want on every issue. I think the strongest issue that we've drawn so far is issue 8. I think we freaking murdered it. But there's a lot of people that think issue 9 is the best drawn issue. Like, all right, y'all entitled to your opinion. But you know, different things, different birds, different flocks. All right, so new writer. So yeah, so Stephanie was in here. I'm gonna tag her again. Let's see here. So I've been looking hard for a writer, man, and I probably have already given it away, but I don't care. I've been looking hard for a writer, and but I've been looking particularly for a female writer and a female writer of color, and I've been trying to reach out on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, and I've found a couple of them, but they're busy. They're already tied up in work, or I can't afford them, and that's a real thing too, because I have budgets. I have a budget for each one of my books, but. And I'm always doing a call out, and sometimes our schedules don't mix. And then Stephanie is a good friend of mine. I've been on her show. What's up, Don? What's up, Jenny? Dang, I miss some people. And Amani, Michelin. I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. Andrew, what's up? And I hadn't been getting her post on my Facebook page. And then one day, a couple days ago, I got it. And I looked, I was like, oh my God, I know Stephanie. Stephanie's a writer. And the cool thing about Stephanie is that she's big in the comic book conventions and promoting her books. And she does a podcast. And she's a very strong woman out here making these books fearless. And I just absolutely love that. So I approached her about taking over the writing gig. That was cool because we had a nice little conversation about it. She sent me some of the stuff that she wrote, some of the very tortured soul issues that I got to read over, that I thought that she'd be able to add a nice flair to what we're trying to do with Vigilance. So Stephanie is stepping up as the new writer of Vigilance, and hopefully through this working relationship, she enjoys it, and she's going to be the ongoing writer. And I want to get the best writer possible on any of our titles, but I particularly want to get a female writer, because if the book's about a female, and females know those little nuances about themselves that, sometimes for the most part a guy just doesn't know. I'm not saying it's not possible for a man to write a female character. I'm not saying that at all. But based off my experiences, one of the artists that we had drawn Emerald Quest was a female, and we have a lot of female characters in that book. And James Gage and I did a lot of the designs for those books, and we've done some really wild and crazy hairstyles. And she got to redesigning the characters in her style, and she's like, I hope you don't mind, I changed up some of the hair. For the most part, it's still how you guys designed it, but it just doesn't work like that for somewhere else. And so I was like, you know what? Absolutely. You know better than I do. But what she did and what she brought to the table was excellent, from the way that she made the clothing fit the women, to the different sizes she did for them, to the way she did the eyelashes and the shape of the face, from the hair, how she did the hairstyle, like all of that. Like, it's just, it wasn't the way that I drew it or James, and it looked better. It worked. And now we have James P.A. drawing Emerald Quest now, and he has those character designs to go off of. So it's possible for these things to happen, but I'm just so glad that we got those character design sheets for her to build our roster moving forward. So our look is much stronger, and that's what I want. So we're diving into that, and sent her all the emails of info needed. She read through the first 3 issues. She's pretty charged up about it, if I do have to say so myself. It's awesome that you're getting awesome women to write female-led books and having one. Well, I try. I got 3 daughters myself. And I kind of always been like this, but it's stronger now that I have 3 daughters, and I want them to know that this stuff can happen for them, and women can do anything that a guy can do, and women can be just as powerful as a man. So I'm a very big advocate of those things. There's Stephanie, she's laughing. But our conversation was super awesome. We were chatting it up on Facebook video about things, and I just love how passionate she is about stuff. And like, as I was talking to her, I saw like the gears like turning and moving. So I think we're gonna do some really good things. So I'm super charged up and excited about Stephanie being brought aboard to write this book moving forward. I think it's gonna be a good look. I think it's gonna be excellent. But I just love seeing the fact that she's a serious convention head. She goes to these shows. Our podcast is excellent, and she's out here on social media constantly pumping this stuff out. So, yay, Stephanie's here! Here we go. All right, so that's pretty awesome. Where am I at? Change of the guard. Well, I already kind of talked about that. Changing around promotions. MechaCon was excellent. Sean corrected me. I thought our numbers were, we did 90% on our sales. Sean said 95%. We did 95% of our sales out of 100%. We did excellent. But I'm not going to lie, we did a deal that worked that a lot of people dug, which was 5 for 20, and it was awesome at that show. It worked, and that's sometimes we keep that deal under the curtain, and we reserve the right to bring that out when we feel like we need to. The people that came over there, we had a lot of things going on, so we wanted to bolster our traffic. We wanted to ensure that the people that were coming over here, they stayed interested, because sometimes at a show, not at every show, but and it's the vibe. Every show has a different vibe every year, and the people that were coming over to our table, they were right on the cusp of joining in. You know what I'm saying? Like, they'd have like 2 books or 3 books, and they'd be right there. And it's like, me and Sean look at each other. It was like, we'll let you get 5 for 20. And, that put them right there. And when you do things like that, you got to be aware of your budget. You got to be aware of your green and your red, or your red and your green, where you're at, how much money it took you to get here. Are you covering those expenses? And we made the call, like, we could cover the expense of giving out a free book to them, and still make sure everything was cool for that show. It may not be recommended at bigger conventions that are more mainstream and more pop culture, because the expense of getting into those shows is more expensive now. Sean lives in Detroit. The show was in Detroit. I just drove up there, $30 in the tank, back and forth, same day, no hotel expenses. Took Sean like 10 or 15 minutes to get there. We set up everything. We didn't have to reprint anything new for the show. I also put up the My Hero Academia Freestyle Comic crossover prints up on the wall, along with some other FSK prints, so that was drawing some eye attention. And the fact that we had that big-ass rack with 50 books on there, we stood out from everybody else. So we kind of just made sure we just sealed the deal with the deal that we were doing, and our presence, and the fact that we were out here talking and pitching to every single person that came to the table. I do enjoy a smaller show because it gives you that opportunity to get more intimate with the client, with the customer. You can spend a little more time with them. You can get more personal with them. I try to do that at any show that I'm at, but when you're at a smaller show, it gives you more time to do it. It's more manageable. And we did good. We made a killing out there. We did real good for the show, so not disappointed at all. What we got next? Team Short Fuse All Access. Now, I know I am saving some Short Fuse news for the actual Short Fuse show that we're going to be doing. But I am going to be talking about that stuff too, as I am the publisher of that brand, that multi-$1,000 comic book company. Team Short Fuse, which, let's get the link out there. I have not been doing any links lately. Now, the doors have been open on this group, and this is the page for our fans. Fans of Short Fuse, new fans, design those characters. Design what characters, Andrew? What's up, Rick? Team Short Fuse All Access is a fan group. If you supported Short Fuse, if you put dollars down on our books, or if you're interested in our books, if you've read our books, you like them, you love them, the things that we're doing, from the video games to the toys, to our shirts, to our swag, to our comic books, this is going to be the group for you. We're going to have special contests in this group. We're also going to have exclusive things for our gamer night that we'll be doing with this group. So the doors have opened. Join that group. Join it. We're up to 56 members right now. You're going to be the first to know about Short Fuse exclusive news, for Short Fuse Kickstarters, Short Fuse events. You guys are going to get weekly prizes and contests in this group. We're trying to do it big. So I don't know how long Mr. Sean Mack will keep these open doors open, but now's the time to join in and really see what Short Fuse is about. I know you've seen our hashtags. If you haven't, you will. You'll see our hashtag all over social media. We always deliver. It's something that we've become accustomed to, and our customers have become accustomed to. We bring you high quality, awesome books. I guarantee you, there's at least one comic book under the Short Fuse label that you can rock with, at least, if not 2 or 3. So go ahead, join that group. Share it with your friends, get it on out there. As I just put that link in there and made it super easy for you. Hi, Stephanie. She put the LOL and the hi real long up there. All right. So those are the PowerPoints that we got there. So Also, guys, gals, you guys can ask questions anytime you want. What's up, Dorfeast? In this chat, because that's what this is really about. I go over some stuff, like I said, that's going on right now with me as a publisher, as an artist, as a creative, working on things. I think I'm going to talk about prints too. So let me mark that down because I want to have a pretty awesome conversation about that if we get to it. But I also asked for questions previously to talk about on the show. And one of the questions that got a lot of activity on the show this week, let's see here. Yeah, on the show this week is what's more important, creatives, production or perfection? Dorfeast, I'm talking about any and everything. We were talking about, let's see here. I picked the artist of the week, which was Demetrius. I talked about and plugged You Create Comics, their new comic book maker line. Talked about a few Kickstarters. Talked about cameo covers by Short Fuse, the FSK editions. Showed people those pictures. Promoting, selecting teams for FSK, and then also thinking about promotions and moving people around for Short Fuse and FSK for my administrative staff to help run things. Talked about MechaCon, which Dorfeast had the top-selling book at MechaCon, Spirit's Destiny, last week. Talked about Team Short Fuse All Access, which you are part of, and you know all about that. And right now we're into the Q&A section. I'm going to answer a couple questions that we have gone buzzing or had buzzing on social media. And if anybody else has any other creative-based questions or creator-based questions, go ahead and just shoot them in the comments, and I will answer them. So the first question I asked this week was, what's more important, creatives, production or perfection? And we got a lot of varying different answers. So I'm just going to give you my answer on this. It is a balance of both. For me, it is a balance of both. I always want to put out the best possible comic book I can put out at all goals. But you got to understand the difference between quality, production, and perfection. As far as quality, we do that every damn time. We do it every time, and I know I sound cocky when I say that, but we put out one of the best looking books out there as far as quality goes. Production is getting a book done. We do that. At FSK, we have 20 comic books out right now, and we're working on more to be released. So when I did Hot Shot #1, and Victor was writing it, I fell into a trap of trying to make the pages look the absolute best every time. So I would go 1, 2, 3 pages in, and I look at page 3, and I'm like, all right, this is really good. And then I look at page 1, I'm like, this is shit. And I go back and draw it. So then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I look at 7, I'm like, all right, this is really good. All right, 3 and 4 don't look that good now. So, all right, let me redraw those pages. And then it just be a constant back and forth thing. And this went on for months. It must have been like 4, maybe 5 months. And I'm drawing the pages, and, I'm probably like 15 pages in or whatnot. Oh, shoot, we got a bunch of stuff. Here we go. What's up, Frank? Can you tell us about the new Kickstarter? When you have hypothesized, we will get the rewards for like $5 Kickstarter and the surveys from Stephen McInturf. What's up, Turf? I'm still shocked I sold the most since then. You are doing it, my man. Proud of you. Thank you so much, Mr. McInturf. Mr. McInturf is my all-time favorite teacher. All right, this man taught me at CCAD, and he is one of the best teachers I've ever had in my life. And I just love him to death, man. I've learned so much from him. Can you talk about prints or selling your books? What should you work on more? Man, I'm gonna get right to those questions right after I finish this one. All right. So, and probably like 5 months into it, I'm at the house. I'm drawing the pages, and again, I'm going back and I'm redrawing pages. I hear a knock at my door, and I go answer it, and it's Vic, and he just comes right in. He doesn't say nothing. Comes right in, goes in my room. I was living with a buddy of mine named James, over on Whittier in Columbus, and Vic, he's looking, he sees all the pages on the floor. He's like, all right, how many more pages you got left? I was like, shoot, like 10, 11 pages. He's like, what do you mean 10 or 11 pages? You've been working on this for months, and I see pages all everywhere. He's like, yeah, so like what happened was this page looked like crap. So I redrew it, and like the further I got in, the page looked terrible. So I went back and redrew that. I wanted to make it as good as like the 11th page. He said, shut up. Boy, if you don't get the book done. Yeah, I think he literally called me boy. I think he did. He said, if you don't get this book done, how is anybody ever going to see it if the book's not finished? How are you going to be a comic book creator or artist if you don't have a book to go out and sell? The book is going to get better. You're going to get better as you release the book. But you got to release the book to get better. You're stuck in a cycle. You're stuck in a cycle. We didn't miss shows. We didn't miss events that we could have sold this book to. And this could have been happening, but you keep redrawing stuff. You just got to get it done. You got to find a level high. You got to find a level that's acceptable and get it done. I was stuck in a hole. And so after Vic said that, man, I got the book done. We got Hot Shot done. Then we got Hot Shot 2 done. And we got Hot Shot 3 done. And he was right. Every single issue, it got better because I learned from the previous issue. I got it to a point where I could accept it and I was happy with it. Even though I knew there were some things about it I didn't like, but I had a deadline. I wanted to get this book out. I needed to get the book out. I needed to know what it was. I needed to know what it felt like to finish something so I can gauge that and find my range on what's my limits of working on it. Now, another teacher that gave me some really good advice is you can't work on everything at 150%. You'll kill yourself. You got to find the things that you are absolutely good on and sharpen those skills, and everything else you got to get to a point to where you're happy with them, where you can accept it and it can work. Now, I am not the best inker. I am not the best colorist. I am not the best writer. But I have these things at a point to where I can be successful at them and I can make them look good enough to where they will sell and move. And then I also put people in places that help me get those things to be better. So I say production and perfect. It's more production and perfection together. You got to have both of them. You got to have a balance of it. But the thing that's more important than both of them, or just as important of them, is quality. Your book can look like, art-wise, hot doo-doo. But if your paper is good, if your production quality is good, if the presentation is dope, the stitching or the stapling is good, you just got an A1 book with some crappy art, you're good. Because there are tons of people that that may not be able to draw as good as us, but they're making way more money than we are. And it's because they have a good story, they have good characters, they have a good quality to their product, and people like them. They got reach, they got an audience, they know how to get people to support them. Because people like them, they want to support them. Doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? So, and I've had people, or like we've had people literally say in short reviews, man, y'all books look way better than mine, but I make more money than y'all. And that's real. That's freaking real. All right, so let's get to some of these questions. Can you tell us about the Kickstarter and when you hypothesize we will get rewards from the Like Father Like Daughter Kickstarter and the surveys on it? I honestly believe that's going to happen within a week. Normally our routine is that we start getting that stuff rolling out within the week, 2-week area in that time frame. But you should be getting them very soon. I actually have not spoke with Sean about where we're at on that. I'll touch base with him and make sure I can get you a definitive answer, Andrew, about that. But normally our timeline is we start to send out the stuff that we can send out within that week to 2 weeks range. Some of the stuff we can't send out until we get the funding, because it takes about 2 weeks to get the funding from Kickstarter. I think 2 or 3 weeks before the money's actually released to us from Kickstarter. And some of that stuff we can't get out to you guys until that funding gets there. But the things that we can release, we start rolling on that stuff as soon as we possibly can. Let's see here. Still shucks. Can you talk about print or selling your books? What should you work on more? Shucks. Words of wisdom, sir. Corey Faber. What's up, Corey? Hey, Corey, if you're still here, hit them with that link to where they can buy the hats and shirts, man. Also, for those of you that did not know, I am rocking my Basement of Doom armband because those is the homies. All right, shout out Basement of Doom. All right, James. What's up, James? How you doing? All right. So Dave wants to know about prints or comic books. What should you work on more? I say both, James. When I do my shows, I have prints and I have comic books. So I will do mainstream. I will do mashup prints. I especially love to do mashup prints because that really gets us to be creative of what we're doing. And I will do mainstream prints to also get people's attention and eye and still make money off of those prints as well. But what I've started doing, and it's not an original idea, I've been crossing over the freestyle comic characters with mainstream characters. Right now, currently, I'm doing it with My Hero Academia because I am obsessed with that show and it's freaking amazing. I.e., example, MechaCon. You got to have prints of your original characters, though. You can't not have prints of your original characters. You got to at least do that. So I have prints of my original characters, put them all up on the rack that we have where we put our books at. And then I put the FSK, My Hero Academia crossover prints at the top around there. So I have Hotshot and Deku, All Might and Justice, Rockslide and Craig. I'm working on one with Grape Juice and J-Fab, Vigilance, and I forget the Shadowhawk character or whatnot. But I put those up. And outside of the prints drew a lot of attention. MechaCon is for, original IPs. That show is for original IPs. And bring this down here, get some of this shirt off. Want to get some of that creative hustle harder shirt off. So a lot of people were drawn to the original prints with just the characters on them. But then other people were drawn immediately to My Hero Academia. They're like, man, those prints are dope, but who's the character they're with? And that's a great opportunity for me to tell you who my characters are and why they're with that character. Now, sometimes I sell those prints, sometimes I don't. But what that print does for me, or those prints in specific do for me every single show, is it brings attention to my table. It gets people to come over, and it's an easy icebreaker for a soft sale all the time. So sometimes it's not even about if the print sells, it's about if the print draws attention, at least for me in my experience. But I do have mainstream prints as well that I do. I try to keep a fresh one at every show that I go to. I try to do a brand new one. I'm working on the iPad now and drawing on that. So I've literally been able to kick out new ones faster. It looks like I only got 23 seconds here on Instagram. I don't know. Probably because I keep forgetting to turn around here, but I think the live's only going to let me go for 12 more seconds. I'm going to come back in and do another one if it allows me. I have been on live for a long time here. I had 10 viewers on it. That's what's up. So let's try to go back. All right, so I say you need to do prints. Something that Sean has been pushing at Short Fuses, which he really liked the crossover prints of it, is you got to get your character in there with the mainstream print. You got to get really creative with the print. You got to find a creative way to flex that print, flex the muscle of your character in there as well. And that's what I've been doing with My Hero Academia crossovers, and it's been giving me a lot of success. So I try to do an even ratio of it. I got the benefit of working with some amazing people on the FSK team and the Short Fuse team that allows us to be able to put out a number of books and get books done. And my colorist, Veronica Smith, she assists me on the prints all the time. So I'm able to draw and ink them, and she'll knock out the colors for me really quick, and we have new stuff to show. So I would say it's a balance of both. But your table presence is what's going to be the real big thing, Dave. How you set up your table tends to be what's going to sell the most at your show. I normally put a bunch of books on the table, set up with a small rack of comic books, and the prints are hanging up behind me. I try to use the prints as attention getters to bring people over here to get them into get them to me, and then I leave them in the comic books. But I have a lot of different ways that I actually pitch and sell books, and actually that's what I probably need to make the next episode of Dear Creatives about, is pitching while you're at a comic book convention. So I say both, but you got to get creative with it. I hope that answers your question. Jerry, good. Thanks, James. What up, Mike? I'm mad I missed the beginning of the stream. Yeah, I haven't answered your question yet, so you got here just in time. Corey Favor just put in the website where you can get this awesome hat and these Creative Hustle Harder shirts that I'm rocking right now, courtesy of Creative Patrol Vets. Thanks. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Thanks, bro. No problem, Dave, man. No problem at all. So actually, Mike Lancet just joined the team of FSK. He is the artist for Zero event, which will be dropping here. And he's working on those pages, and I will tell you, they look wonderful. Wonderful. Very, very excited to have Mike on there. And Mike has asked a very awesome question that's actually multifaceted, and we're going to, I hope I used that word correctly, Q&A. I'm going to plug that in there as well. Oh, it ended? I don't think Instagram's going to let me share anymore. I might have gone over my limit here. I think I would have my limit. Oh, whatever. I'll try it again here in a little bit. All right. Oh, because I've been. All right. All right. So, no, that's me and my Creatives Hustle Harder shirt. Where the heck is Mike Lance's question? That's not the link I wanted. All right, let me see if I can find Mike's question, because his question was, oh, actually it is. It's on that post. All right, I'm gonna go to my other page and find it. Here it is. All right, so Mike asked this question. I have a question. It's sort of a dark one. Have you ever been in a place mentally with your books, your projects, or your art in general where you thought to yourself, this may not be for me after all? Have you ever had doubts as to whether you should actually be trying to become an artist? We often hear the phrase starving artist. We never hear the phrase starving doctor, starving lawyer, or starving engineer. Do you ever wonder if you would do it differently if you could travel back in time and get a do-over, maybe get a different degree, maybe go into a field of study that would earn you a higher salary and more comfortable lifestyle? Sorry the question's so long. No, that question is amazing. So let's get into it. All right, so general. All right, have you ever been in a place mentally with your books, your projects, or your art in general where you thought to yourself, this may not be for me after all? Wow. Have I? Have I ever been in a place where I just didn't think the books were working and this wasn't going to work for me? Yes. Yes, I have. And I can tell you I was there for exactly, what's up, Rob Anderson? I was exactly there for maybe 2 days. I was there for 2 days. And that would be, oh my God. That would have been after all the stuff after the stuff with the previous publisher, the publisher I was with before Short Fuse. I was promised a lot of stuff. I invested my entire self in it. My wife would be upset that things weren't happening fast enough, and we've been doing it for a year and things just weren't where they were going, and I would stand up and defend what was going on and justify it like it takes time. It's a slow process. We can't just do that or that. We have to move in little steps. And when the cord got cut and people, let's say things did not work the way that they were told to me they were going to work, and contracts weren't followed through. I'll just leave it at that. I was hurt. I was hurt at that last meeting, to the point to where I cried. I actually got on the phone with Victor Dandridge and I was telling him what happened, and I broke down. I was in shambles. I was with Mason, and Mason offered me a ride back to the house because I needed a ride, and I broke down in the car with him because I had gotten into so many fights with my wife about it, or so many different arguments, because at the end of the day, I'm a husband, I'm a father, and I need to be able to take care of my family. Just the missed opportunities that I had, or how much time I put into it and how much I believed in this thing moving forward, and it just did not happen, and I wasted so much time on it. And I was just afraid that, like, maybe this is not for me. And when something tragic like that happens, my rule is I get to feel like that for like 1 day. I get to sulk and sit on it for 1 day, and then after that I need to get back to it. And that's what I did. I got back to it. I started working out things for how can I do Freestyle Komics and bring FSK back, and I'm just gonna do it on my own and answer to myself. So that was probably the lowest I've been with the comic books. But comic books is my life. Like, I can't see myself doing anything else in one shape or form, whether it's in the background helping produce the book or make the book or do the artwork. I just couldn't see myself doing anything else, because I knew, like, even at that failure point where things had fallen off, I knew once my head got clear and I really thought about things, that I can't do a regular job. I mean, I could, but I'd be miserable. I would be miserable at a regular job. I'm just not. I mean, I would do it if I absolutely had to, but I would not be happy about it. My last 2 jobs where I was 9 to 5 or whatnot, I was miserable, terrible, hated it, couldn't stand it. And I tried to make those jobs the best I could, and it just wasn't for me. So I knew comics was for me. I couldn't go back, so I had to figure out a way to make this work. I've invested too much time and too much effort to quit. So yeah, I've been deep. I've been dark in the hole. Have you ever had doubts as to whether you should actually be trying to become an artist? Probably just that. Well, not an art. No. I'm always going to do art. So it's just a matter of my main concern was how am I going to take care of my family because this isn't coming through the way it's supposed to. We often hear the phrase, "Yep, you never do hear about starving doctor, starving lawyer, or anything like that." If I can go back in time and travel and get a do-over, what would I do different? Nope, I would keep my same degree, but what I would do is take a minor in web design and graphic design. So when I got out of school, and I would, all right, so I would, if I could go back and change that, I would take a minor in web design, graphic design. I would slap myself in the face and tell myself to be more open to other things. Don't, like, yes, do comic books. Comic books is the thing that you want to do. Focus on that as much as possible, but don't shut other things out. Like, when I was in college, all I cared about was what's going to make me a better comic artist. If it did not help me become a better comic artist, I did not care. And so I would tell myself to care and do other things. And I was pretty involved with the school because I used to be a resident advisor and stuff like that. But I would tell myself to be more involved with the school, go to more of the events, do more of the, get more friendly with the office, make yourself, build your presence up there. So those would be the things I'm doing, but my degree would stay the same. I would still be chasing these comics though. But if I had that minor in graphic design and website design, I would not have probably had to take the 9 to 5 job that I had for like 8 years that crushed me. Because I could do other things. And when I got out of school, I had to literally learn graphic design from Marshall Schwartz, the man who does Creative Control Fest with Corey Faber. So I had to learn from him, and luckily he was willing to show me stuff, answer questions, and help me and guide me. So yeah. Maybe going to the percentage of earning your high salary. Oh, well, I guess I've answered your question, Mike. I've answered them both. That's real. Preach. Try to, man. I try to keep it as real as possible here on the creative end of it. And we just talked about pranks, so I don't need to go into that. We've just done our Q&A. So let's see here. So this episode and all future episodes are brought to you by Creative Control Fest, Short Fuse Media, and Freestyle Komics. I'm going to plug here, again, because I always do a closing plug. A closing plug is good. Guys, please go to, that's what I forgot to get. Where's that? If you guys have any question, please go ahead and ask them, put them in the comments. I will answer them. We still got a little bit of time left on the show. We still have a little bit of time on the show. And if I close out the show before you get your question up, then you are more than welcome. I will answer the question next week. Right now, I'm giving you the link to the event page to Dear Creatives. To Dear Creatives. Please join that group. Join our event page to see what's going on. The show happens every Thursday at 7 p.m. We have a ton of stuff going on. I'm going to start doing prizes with it, little raffles, trivias, and polls and contests and things like that. But you can get all the updates here through that page. I'm putting that link right there right now. So be sure to join our event page to see when the next episode's coming in, to ask your questions, get them featured on there, and maybe I'll pull one of you guys onto the show with me. We can have a nice little Q&A going back and forth. In closing, please be sure to follow FX Comics on Twitter, Short Fuse Media on Twitter. There's the FX Comics one. Give us a follow and like at Art of Mike Watson. Also, I'm putting all our Instagram accounts in there. Please give us a follow, share, or like at those areas as well. And, man, this is a really good episode, man. We had some really good questions. We got to do a deep dive tonight. Man, I love it. Absolutely love it, man. I think this episode went great. It might have been my Dear Creative hat that I was rocking, man. I mean, I think I got a lot of love out of that hat. All right. I'm going to close out the Instagram. Just going to close out the Instagram one because we're done there. All right. Also, be sure to check me out at Picktown Artworks. I am a teacher there. I teach art classes. We have a draw class that I do, which is like free draw. I have a samurai class I do where I teach you how to make samurai armor out of cardboard. Combo creator class, which we actually use the tools from You Create Comics. And we are making our own comics and mangas in my other classes. So I have about 4 classes I do. I still have open enrollment, so you guys can still sign on and sign up for the classes. And I always tell people that if you sign up for my class and you get 2 more people to sign up, the next class session, you get that class for free. So come check us out. Classes are, do I have my price amounts? The samurai class is $75. Comic book class and character class is $55. My movie class is $40. I don't know how much the free drawing class is because I'll be getting that here in a couple weeks, but I'll keep you posted. But if you want to know more about that information, just go to Picktown Artworks and click on booking, and it'll bring up all the classes and you get all the information there. Picktown Artworks is doing amazing things in Pickerton with their art classes, and you don't have to be from Pickerton to go to the art classes. So come join us and check us out. I think Mike hit me with another question. Well, as long as you're still answering questions, was it discouraging even in the least bit when Eric Larson, a convert, tried to dish you and Victor? Did it just fuel your fire? Did you just brush it off quickly? I was angry. I'm not going to lie. In case you guys are wondering what Mike Lance is talking about, Victor and I did this Dare to Compare with Invincible, where we said we went to comic shops here in Columbus. Oh, real quick. So I put up all the Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter accounts. Please give us a share, like, and follow at those. Short Fuse, Freestyle Komics, Picktown Artworks. Go check us out. But we said if you like Invincible, chances are you'll like Hotshot. And so we provided each one of those shops with free copies of the book. And we said anybody that buys Invincible, give them a free copy of Hotshot. And we went online and we told people, we just want to know what you think. That's all. Whether you hate it or love it, we just want to know because we want to put out the best book we possibly can. We went on the message boards for image comics. We were talking about them, and all of a sudden Eric Larson came in there and was going in. Victor and I were super professional, but Eric Larson was saying some real reckless to us. And I didn't get it. I even texted and said, what is that? I don't know. I even texted and said, why is there an exclamation point? So why do they do stuff and then don't tell you what it means? That's crazy. All right, so I even said, no, Mike, if you want to ask more questions, man, you can ask more questions. That's perfectly fine. I don't care about staying on the show. But I even said to Eric, like, sir, like, Mr. Larson, I don't understand why you're going in on this like this. We are just trying to do exactly what you did. We respect what you've done with Image Comics and you and the guys over there, and we're just trying to make it on our own steam, just like you guys did with our own original IPs. We respect Ryan Otley and Invincible and Robert Kirkman to the utmost. We're not saying our book is better than their book. We're just saying if you like Invincible, chances are you'll like Hotshot, and give us honest feedback on the book. Whether you love it or hate it, that's all we're doing. We're just trying to put our foot in the door and make our own stance. And man, he was going in. But you know, to rile up a pro like that, or you know, what's labeled as a pro, that was kind of invigorating because that put us on the radar. A lot of people found out. Hey, it's Jim. A lot of people found out about us through that, and a lot of people were on our side because they could see it in the message thread. A lot of people were going off like, why are you talking to them like this? Like, why are you going in? But, you know, so at the time, I was pissed at the time, but I'm just like, dude, we're not causing any harm. Like, we're not doing anything wrong. But then once we started getting the response and the feedback in, like, then, you know, me and Vic laughed about it because, like, after we looked at it, I was like, yeah, it's funny. Like, Eric Larson's cheering off our heads. So we matter. we're affecting change. But then the notice came in. people started noticing us. People started talking about us. And I think that that's the point where we were dubbed by Comic Related the masters of self-promotion with that event, with that thing we do, that we did. So it brought us a lot of good. It brought us a lot of good fortune from it. Put us out there, got our book out there. All press is good press, right? That's what they say. So whether it was negative press or not, Mr. Lawson put us on a lot of people's radar, and people were talking about Hot Shot, and we were getting a lot of eyes on us. So, and then like it did make me want to work harder. Like it did make me want to go in on the book. It made me want to go in on it and just like make that book that much better. And I think we've improved every single issue of Hot Shot that we've done. I really do. Oh no, you're good. I'm just listening and while working on the first page of Zero Event. I just got goosebumps. Mike, like I said, was drawing the first issue of Zero Event #1, which was written by Victor Dandridge, and it's Return of Vic to FSK. So yeah, really good here, man. We did a really good show here today. So in closing, that's this week's episode. Next week, same time, same channel, my Facebook Live page. We will be doing it at 7. I will be putting updates in our events page, so please go follow the event page. Please follow us on our Facebook page, our Instagram accounts, and Twitters for any updates or anything going on with Short Fuse Media and Freestyle Komics, because we're doing a lot. We're going to be making some moves here. We've been making some moves. We got a lot of things going on. Follow our cosplayers have a page, also Instagram. So we have some pretty awesome cosplayers as well. Be sure to get the information and go find out more about Creative Control Fest, as that is happening next weekend if you're in the Columbus area. Shit, I mean, if you're in the Ohio area, if you're in the surrounding states, I would say this event, and you're a creative, I would say this event is definitely worth your time to come out to. The panels are amazing. The panels are so good. We got musical performances. The panels are on TED Talks level. So I highly recommend getting out here to this show. It's season 7, year 7 of it. But you know, I'm done. That's all I got, man. That's all I got. We're sitting at a show for 1 hour and 20 minutes because the first video copped out. So I hope that played because I had a ton of links in there. But thank you for joining in to this episode of Dear Creative. Really appreciate it so very much. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to get out of here. I got some Upper Deck Marvel work I need to get done, get cracking on. And see you next time. Thank you so much. You guys enjoy the rest of your night.